Hello, Helldivers. Welcome aboard. It's nice to have you here. Real quick, I realize my title says, in defense of Malevelon Creek. But that is not the only thing I'm here to do today. So before you hit the dislike button or anything like that, just hear me out, all right? I'm here to have just a respectful discussion. I'm gonna call out some things in general, but I wanna open this up because I feel like our community, and I only just joined the community, I will say, but I feel like the community I've seen outside of the game, not in the game, but outside, has been extremely toxic as of recent. Like, just in general, to every group in particular. And I realize sometimes, it's kind of a joke thing, but I've definitely noticed some people that I think are not taking it as a joke anymore. And I just think, we should have a call to arms, basically, against that sort of mindset. So I kind of, hear me out. I want to talk about some things I think that we can all agree on. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I just want to point out some stuff because I do really like this community and I do really like this game. I've been having a lot of fun playing it. I just kind of got into it recently. I've been watching it since it came out. I've been watching the reels and things. But I fell in love with it just watching the gameplay and now playing it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And I think we can all agree on that. It's great. I think the attention to detail is fantastic. There's some bugs here and there, but they're doing a good job of trying to fix them all and actively DM the game for us and things. It's fantastic. And I've been loving it. It's awesome. But I am concerned. I didn't notice this right away because, I'm playing the game mostly and everybody in the game has been typically pretty chill. There's been a few people here and there, but you're always going to have that, right? But overall, most people just, we go to the major orders, we fight, we have a good time, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Or whatever planet you end up on, whether it be one of the ones, that's for the major orders, or if it's, something like Malevelon Creek or something like that. You go places, people are really chill, you're all fighting for democracy and freedom, and you're having a good time. But then, recently, I went out and I looked at the Reddit pages. And basically, something I've noticed while you scroll through there is it's kind of a cesspool of just, treasonistic fighting amongst each other. I don't know why we're all fighting. I think it's kind of ridiculous. So hear me out. Recently, one of the main reasons we had the fighting, all right? Okay, so I kind of wanted to show you all what's going on at the time of me making this, just so we understand. So at the time, originally, we had just finished the push for Troost. So we'd pushed up here. Where did it go? We pushed up here and took Troost. We fought through Ustodu, pushed up here, took Troost, and then we started to push this way because we're trying to take out Tibet, because Tibet has apparently a huge production of automatons. So we're trying to push through, we're trying to take it over. I think everybody who plays knows that. What happened is Dropner ended up getting attacked while we were pushing to liberate Ubanya, and got taken. It just did. We didn't have enough people pushing Ubanya or Dropner, either one of them really, and so Dropner ended up getting taken. And then as soon as that happened, we tried to take Ubanya, but it was a little too late, and we just didn't get it taken in time, so we didn't get to cut off that supply line. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, because not everybody knows about supply lines either, and that's another big point of mine. Now, I've seen a lot of people, before we even get into anything about the whole bot front, really, I've seen a lot of bot players blame all the bug players. All right, so let's go over here to the bugs. Okay, so if we go over here, we had just finished, before any of the bot stuff, we just finished taking 4 different planets. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head because I had just started playing at the time when this major order had come out. But one of them was Hellmire. I think Fori Prime was one. There was a couple, I think Estanu. We just finished taking those. We finished the order. They said, hey, good job. You got the fuel that we were making from the bugs. It's time for us to ship out because we realized that the automatons are planning something. We got to take them on. Okay? All right. I understand a bunch of people don't enjoy fighting the bots. Okay? That's understandable. Fighting against the bugs and the bots are two completely different fronts. For bugs, it's kind of a thing of where, you have to run and gun a little bit. You kind of have to be on the move. Because they kind of call in bugs. You can't knock them out of the sky like you can the bot drop ships. You just are hoping for the best. I mean, maybe you can take out the bug breaches, and I'm just unaware of it. But as far as I'm aware at the moment, There's not a way to do that. Bugs are a whole different playstyle, and I think right now a lot of people like might come from more run and gun games. Not always, but I think there's a good few that probably do. And so that's the type of gameplay that they're used to and they enjoy and that they like. And there's nothing wrong with that, all right? So bot players, I know you're throwing a lot of shade at these guys, but stop it. Like, there's not a reason to. As somebody who really enjoys playing bots, like, more than bugs, I like the gameplay better. They're both fun gameplay styles, and some people just prefer one over the other. Now, granted, I do think that if we have a major order, as a community, we should do our best to try to fulfill the major order, obviously. Like, we are trying, you know, technically speaking, we are able to conduct, as Helldivers, war in any way that we see fit, and the major orders that we're given are orders that are, hey, we need to probably do this, but, like, do it as you can type of thing, right? Some people don't wanna. That's fine. Like, they're having fun with their game, you know? And there's plenty of us to go fight. Plus, the people who are DMing the game, I know they change percentages on things. I've been told that now. For, like, pushes and things. And if they feel like we're struggling as a community, despite the community really trying and being vocal about it, I'm sure that they can change the numbers and push things in our direction. I mean, that's what if they feel the need that, like, we need to, you know. As a DM for D&D, I've done that for my players before. Like, sometimes you're like, I think it'd be best if the story goes this way for my players. You know, this is what happens. Bot or bug players, I think y'all. I'm gonna call you out now. I'm gonna be honest for two things. One, a lot of y'all complain about the bots being unfair, and I get it. The bots are crazy strong, like they are. They're actually, you know, firing back at you a lot more than the bugs are. I get it, because bugs just throw up a little bit. Let's be honest, they just kind of throw up a little bit. It is dangerous. They can kill you really quick with that vomit, but it's not gonna, like, be as necessarily harrowing as getting shot at by 80 different rockets and lasers all at once, especially with the rocket devastators out there. Like, those, trust me, I get it. I've heard a lot of complaint about the rocket devastators and the shield devastators. Both of those guys are scary. I get it, but they're a lot of fun. Like, it's a different type of gameplay. It's more a little bit more of a tactical shooter at that point. You're having to kind of lay plans. You can't just run in and gun. You kind of have to run in and, like, sneak through and fight for what you can, and pick and choose your battles. And I really like that. Like, me personally, and I know a lot of other people do too. I mean, clearly there's 140,000 people over here right now. Part of that's for the orders, sure. And then there's 73 over here in the Severin sector. So clearly people do enjoy it to an extent, and clearly people like bugs, because there is 100,000 over here as well. You know, it's a lot, and I get it. But, like, we do also, you know, every once in a while, maybe try out the bots. Same for the bot players. Maybe try out the bugs if you haven't already. When I originally played, I thought the bugs were really annoying and really hard. I didn't like fighting them. And then I played with a friend of mine who really enjoys fighting bugs more. And at that point, I had leveled up some. I'd gained, like, more understanding of how the game works, how to fire, how to shoot, and, like, do all this different stuff. And I determined that I really actually, like, the bugs are fun. Like, I get it now. Like, I understand how to fight them better. I've learned. You know, I fought with my friend, and he kind of taught me too a little bit. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a different type of gameplay, but I like it. So bug players, quit complaining, and fight over here. Bot players, quit giving bug players flack for not wanting to do that, because that doesn't make them want to do it anymore. It just makes them annoyed at you and causes a bunch of discourse in the community. And just let people play the game how they want. And then, as far as the major orders go, okay, because this is the big one, and this is what I titled the video off of because it's the most discourse I've seen recently. Okay, if we go down here, all right, Dropner is our main target. Okay, and I'm gonna go to a whole different page in a second here to show you this, but in order to get to Tibet, we have to push through Dropner and into Albania, which is already almost taken. So if we can get through here, which we're really close, we're at 99%. It's super close. We have to push through here into Albania and take Tibet. I don't think we're gonna get to do that in time now. We have about 15 hours left, you can see up there. But this is what we need to do. The Malevelon Creek players, I'm gonna call you out now, as somebody who enjoys the creek himself. fighting, I understand a lot of y'all like to give Creek players flack. You call them Creekers for one, which I think is really, like, that's just rude. Like, come on. Like, we don't need a name call. We are Helldivers. We fight for democracy and freedom. Like, there's no reason to be calling other Helldivers names for no reason. Like, it doesn't help anything. So, I do get it. There are, like, 8,000 people here sometimes that sit here. Back before we got 8 orders come over here. Because I kind of explored around. When I first joined, we were doing the bug orders, like I said. And after the bug orders were finished, I went over to find Malevelon Creek because I wanted to experience it. Because I did see the memes. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, I wonder why people, like, find this planet so scary. And, like, at first, I kind of got it. Like, you know, it's dark. It's foresty. But having fought on other bot planets now, it's definitely not the hardest bot planet to fight on by any means. But I do really love the Creek, personally. And here's why. I think it's really pretty. I like the fireflies. I like the forests. I think it's really fun fighting the bots in the dark. And I realize that technically that makes them easier because you can see the glow of the red eyes. But I like that atmosphere of it. Okay. With that being said, that it clearly, I mean, as far as taking over the board, like the galactic map goes, that is not a reason to necessarily sit here. However, I'd like to point something out. We're fighting a war on multiple fronts. Okay. We're fighting one on the Terminid side and on the Automaton side, and maybe a new side eventually too. Because from what I'm hearing, we might have the Illuminate join. And with that being said, we're fighting a war, okay? We do need people over here who like fighting bugs to help keep the bugs in check. We don't need to continue to take planets like crazy, but we do need people to keep the bugs in check to an extent. But obviously our main focus should be on major orders, as a community at least. Again, if you want to play the game how you want, that's totally fine too. There shouldn't be this like bias against that. But focusing on orders is obviously good too, since we're trying our best to push forward and push our story along and save our managed democracy, you know? But with that being said, I don't think fighting on the Creek is that bad. Hear me out. I know, again, a bunch of people are gonna be like, you're just a Creeker, like you want them to fight for space Vietnam, or, you know, whatever. I don't care. Listen here. Look at this. Okay, so there's this webpage here called helldivers.io, for those who don't know. I didn't know about this until literally yesterday, okay? It's a great tool. It allows you to see the entire galactic map as it stands currently. It will show you like what's being fought for, what's going on with it, percentages, things like that. It's really great. If you go in here and you turn on campaign, empty planets, that way you can see everything, and then you turn on supply lines. That's the really important one. Okay, so these supply lines show us where planets connect to, what planets we need to take to get to other planets, and what allows us to push forward or cut off, you know, attacks and things like that. For instance, there were players fighting for Ubania. We didn't take it, and then the bots started to push in here. We didn't take this one fast enough either, and we kind of, you know, we're going back and forth. Part of it was because we didn't have enough players fighting, and I get that, and I agree. But part of it's also just that we kind of were indecisive in what we were doing. With that being said, Dropner here is our next place that we need to push. We need to get through here. However, having some players over here fighting for Malevelon is not a bad idea, and here's why. As soon as we take Tibet, I'm hoping that will happen, and if we don't, whatever major order comes next, High Command knows what will be best for us, right? Whatever major orders come next, we are still going to be trying to push the bots out. The bots have no way out currently. They cannot connect to here as far as I'm seeing. They can't connect to here. They can't get out through this sector. They have to go through either the Creek or through Ubania. These are our two choke points. If we have both this one and this one, in fact, if we have this one and this one even, if we can just take, sorry, I said Ubania, I'm in Dropner. If we can take Ubania, or even just Dropner at this point, and then the Creek holds 2 planets back, like right off the bat. This one point is a chokehold against everything else. They cannot get out. They might be able to. I don't know what all the devs have in plan, and are, you know, clearly the bots are starting to learn to make new things just like we are. So there could be things that change, obviously. But telling the Creek players that they are the most horrible people ever because they're holding this planet, is not, for one, helping things. It's just dividing our community, which sucks. And then for two, it's not even that bad of a strategy. I'm not saying it should be the main goal, but having players here that are fighting for this as well, and who have been pushing for it, it's not a bad goal. If we can, again, if we can hold it, we've got these 2 planets cut off from everything else. They can't get anywhere. Whereas if we left this one open, right, and we only pushed through here, and we stopped focusing anything else over here, it's so easy for them to go from Malevelon to Dropner to Mantis and anywhere else they really feel like they need to go, because they can just push through. If all of a sudden we get a strong wave of bots, because, I mean, we're only seeing human-controlled space here. There could be planets out here that we don't know of that are still producing bots for them, right? But at least in our airspace currently, airspace? Space? Either way, at least in our space. Oh, look at that, we just took it! Let's go! I caught that on camera, let's go! Let's go! Okay, so, change of plans. We have Dropner.
We cannot let the enemy
if we can take Malevelon and Ubania, which are both close to being taken at this point, we need as many Helldivers over here as possible. Then we can have 2 chokeholds. We have one right here, where they can't get anything out from Tibet, really. And we've got one right here, where they can't get anything out from what the heck? Maja, I guess? And Durgan, okay? Those 2 planets can't go anywhere at that point, as long as we hold that. Right now, they can attack through, and I know that because they did it to us when we were taking Ubania and then pushed into Dropner. Okay? If we can hold this, they can't attack through. I mean, clearly, because if they could, they would have already pushed through all of our planets into Super Earth. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how the game works exactly, but I'm pretty sure they can't do that. Now, if anyone out there can tell me any information respectfully and like help me understand it, maybe I don't understand things as well as I'm thinking, that's fine too. I'm totally willing to learn, but from a perspective like of somebody who just got in, enjoys strategy and things, I don't see the reason why having somebody on the creek, having somebody here, and taking both of these planets would be bad. Obviously, I agree with you guys. We do need to be pushing for Tibet for the main orders. Taking out that bot supply would be great for us. But I don't think having a few Helldivers over here to fight would be bad either, especially if we can get more of the bug people to fight with us over here. Again, with that being said, nothing's wrong with fighting against the bugs. We do need to... I know we are trying to let them repopulate. I get it. But I do think we need to be careful about how we let them repopulate. Just because I think it would be bad if it did overpopulate and we all of a sudden have a really big front over here and then a new, Illuminate or something, wherever they're going to come from, pop up. That'd be really bad for us. I do agree. So we need people over here to kind of keep the peace a little bit at least, kind of hold the line and keep them a little bit in check. But we need as much push, especially right now in this 15 hours, to get here as possible. And then again, I really do think holding this spot will not be bad for us. Plus, for all you people who are really just angry and upset at Creek players, all right, if you take the Creek players can't play there anymore, okay? At least for the time being. And I realize that the Creek can get taken back, and that people will probably flock there again for whatever reason. And again, I do get it. It's a pretty place. I know a lot of them fight there not because it's a pretty place, because of the memes and stuff. I do understand that is a thing. But let them have their fun. They're enjoying fighting on that planet. They aren't the saviors of the universe, true, but we're all working together to save Super Earth, and save democracy, and save freedom, okay? Just, some people are going to choose to do it in a little bit of a different way. Either way, I'm going to cut this down as much as possible because I feel like I've kind of drawn on a little bit, but I really am. I love this game. I think the community, at least in the game, has been fantastic. I just want to see that same camaraderie and like less division outside. And that's kind of my call to arms. Yes, we need to do our best to kind of follow major orders, but fighting on some different fronts as well, especially fronts that could be chokeholds for us. Again, I don't know. Maybe they can get out through here, and I'm not aware of it. It doesn't show it on this map, at least. But this is a good chokehold. And this is a good chokehold. And having things over here fought for us is great too, because we don't want them to expand too far. So giving bug players flack for just staying over there all the time is a little ridiculous, because we do need people to fight that front too. But we do need to push this order as much as possible and learn to fight as many foes as possible for the greater good. So stand with me, if you would, if you're willing to, in trying to make this community, the most, I don't know, banded together community that we've had in a while. Know that people are doing their best to fight the Scourge back wherever it is, and some people don't even care, and that's fine too. But we're doing our best to fight back these Scourges as best we can, and have fun with it. Just enjoy role-playing out this awesome game that we've been given. Like, this is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best games we've had in a while. I've really, really enjoyed playing this. There's a reason why, on my off time for the most part, within the last week here, this is the main game I have played. And there will even be some content coming out of me just playing and having fun by myself or with friends or with randoms or whatever. It's going to happen because I like this game a lot. But I just want to see more groups of us standing together as a community. Stop throwing names at each other. Stop going, oh, the bug players, it's their fault. Oh, the bot players. Oh, the creek players. Like, how dare they? Just know that people are fighting. We're all fighting together. And although we need to push those orders, let's stand together in knowing that sometimes we have to fight on other fronts. And some of those fronts might even be good for chokeholds and things. Anyways, I got kind of rambly, and that's because I care. I get rambly on things that I care about. But I do care about this community. And I just want to see it be an awesome place full of people that respect each other, are having a great time, and are doing their best to fight for managed democracy and freedom. Alright? Y'all are awesome. And if you agree with me, that's awesome. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine too. Like, everybody's, everyone have their own opinion. That's fine. But I hope that you can at least agree with me in the fact that we should do our best to respectfully, talk about our disagreements on things and not act like a bunch of 11-year-olds. All right? We can do this. I believe in us as a community. I'm rallying us here. I hope. Please. I just want us to stand together. We can't. A house divided cannot stand. All right? That's all I'm saying. House divided cannot stand. As a really, really past leader of our Super Earth once said, we got to stand together. Thanks for taking the time to listen. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. I will see you out there on the fronts. And if you see me, feel free to say hi. I enjoy playing with, whoever, really.